with 2 laps to go or something, and I sprinted for the second last lap.
I don't remember anymore.
I remember it because I stopped, and then I saw you continue. It's like, oh shit, one more lap.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long lap for me because I was like, man, I'm dropping Casper like easily, man. I thought he was strong. Like I didn't think you were dying that much.
Yeah, but I knew about the lap board. Yeah,
and I didn't think about the lap board changing behind the breakaway in front of us. But yeah, one more lap.
I think it wasn't for the first place. I think it was
no.
Like
yeah, it was something
6th or 7th place, something like that.
Yeah, but I remember the course. Like you have the cobblestones, you have a small right and left, a lot of public.
No, that's Otterlo. Oldenbroek is a different one.
Too many Dutch races.
But Otterlo, yeah. Okay, that's Otterlo. So that's the one. Yeah, both races, Otterlo and Oldenbroek, they both got washed away by the rain.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the KPN Cup a little bit smaller this year. We hope for it to return bigger and better next year. But there used to be even more KPN Cups in Holland.
Yeah, from this year, only 7 races. At the beginning, we were already like, oh, that's not much. We want more, especially there's a lot of folks coming from the marathon ice skating. They need competition in summer, and now they slowly move on to biking because there are no races to be offered to them anymore on inlines.
Okay.
So we have to get that back in to get all the marathon ice skating people back in the competition, and then we can make a big group again.
Yeah. Okay.
So hopefully next year, and I think things are changing, they will have a competition of at least 10 races. So let's hope for that, and you guys can join as well.
Yeah, we love to come and join the Dutch marathons, especially. There's something special about Dutch marathons because you have Dutch skaters in there, which means attack.
Always hard racing.
Always hard races, always attack. And it's like, but it's the same everywhere in the world with the marathon cups, like the German Inline Cup, Swiss Inline Cup, even World Inline Cup, KPN marathons in Holland. So like all these marathon cups, they're getting slightly smaller. The good thing, I think, is that the European Cups, so the track races around Europe,
they're growing.
They're growing, and they're getting a lot more professional. The calendar is more and more fixed. It's the same races. That part, I think, is really professional with the inline skating now. Like, you have such a high level. It is just crazy. And if you want to make it inline, let's say, better for Olympics, maybe that's the way to go. But in the start 2000s, marathon was for sure the way to go.
Yeah, but now you see for Geisingen, for example, if you don't make your inscription early enough, you cannot race.
It's full. Yeah.
That's weird to notice, because normally it's like, we want as much as possible skaters come to the track in Geisingen. It's a really fast track. And now they can keep it easy with the advertisement because it's full in no time.
Yeah.
You have to make your place, and otherwise you cannot race. That's a good development, of course.
Yeah, it's crazy also in the senior men. You see, like, there's so many people registered. There's like A, B, C group. Maybe they'll have to do a D group at some point, because there's like, there's like three heats and then one final, A final, and then even being in the B final is pretty good, because
even the C final,
like,
you have world champions.
You always have world champions in the C final. It's like, of course, some of them are sprinters as well, because it's for the long distance you do it, but yeah, it's still, it's amazing to see, and it's good that you can also go from junior to senior and actually have something to race for, because some of the guys coming from junior to senior, it's a major step, and you can't just go to the A group, and you can't just, like, as soon as Bart Swings or Diogo Moreira, so the guys we mentioned, Felix Ryan, they go hard in the front. Yeah, it's not normal that you can just follow as a first year senior.
Yeah, and it's not fun if you do 2 laps of racing in a point race, because you're dropping.
Yeah, and you can work your way up through the C
A,
final.
B, and C. Yeah. I hope the European Cups, as they have more people registered, they will do A, B, maybe even C finals where there's a lot of people. Maybe you're gonna have to sacrifice some of the younger categories if you're gonna have time the whole weekend for that. But that's also like part of the charm with the sport. Whenever we go to an event, you have all these kids, and they're sitting in a tent right next to world champions, also waiting to race. It's crazy, but the sport is getting bigger with the European Cups, so it's also a bit. If there's rain, it's also hard with the program sometimes.
Yeah, and then with a track like Geisingen, you have the roof. There's no problem.
Yeah, and Geisingen,
with other tracks, it's difficult, especially since the long distance racing, it's like 40 or 50 people in the track, and with the rain, it could be dangerous, and then only one crash makes the program like spread out, and then it's already what are we going to do? What are we going to decide for the program?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good development, and that's the best part of skating, to see it growing.
Yeah,
but it's a shift, like you said, from marathon to track racing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we move on to the World Championships in the summer. So we finished the spring races, some marathons, some track racing, and then we had the World Championships, which is some track racing, some road racing, and then a marathon in the end to finish it off. And this year it was in Barcelona, in Spain, and you had your first World Championships there.
Yeah, actually last year I raced the marathon in my home country in Arnhem, but this one I got invited for the road racing and the marathon, so I had my first real competition. Yeah.
Ooh, track racing as well next year?
I'm not sure. Of course, you aim for more, but no, for this year it was really focused on the road. Yeah, to make the focus small, and you can aim on everything. But if you want to make results or you want to grow, sometimes you have to pick a choice and go for it all the way.
Yeah. So how was the experience at World Championships for the first time for you? I mean, the marathon last year, of course, but the whole environment of the national teams, and so how was it being at World Championships?
Yeah, it was good. Of course, you come in later because you skip the opening ceremony, and I think the first 2 days of track racing were already finished. And then I arrived at the venue, and I skated at the track to warm up because on the road there was the big judges stand, and the timekeeping was there, so I didn't have time to prepare on the road circuit. But the whole experience, it's big, and the venue, it was it was at the beach. It was like holidays.
Yeah.
But of course you are there for pro sports and for top sports, so you have to focus, and that's not a problem. But once you look back on a tournament like this, you're really hungry for the years to come. You make plans, you want to improve and to make better results every year. First you have to qualify, of course, but you get hungry, and that's the good part about racing worlds and races on that level, because it's so high level.
Yeah.
So just to recap a little bit from World Championships, some of the major things I remember from there. First of all, it's again, we said the name before early in the podcast, it was Bart Swings. This year he was so good. He was good on the track, he was good on the road. Insane, yeah. He's been the best skater of the sport for many years now, and every year whenever there's someone doubting whether or not he's too old or done, it's just never done. So the Bart Swings show was on again. Last year he took his one World Championship title in the elimination on the road, so at the end of the championship in Arnhem in Holland last year. But this year came back showing that he's here as a dominant force still. So he won several races and he looked super strong in all of the races, which unfortunately also meant that a guy like Daniel Niero, who's also been up there for so many years and been on the podium several times, is still missing that World Championship title. And if you ask him as well, he's going to say the same thing. He's missing that World Championship title. Same with a guy like Diego Maderas. But the thing with Daniel Niero is also that going into every race, I feel like you can say, he's so good. He's looking so good. The team is looking so good. It's just, it still hasn't really been happening. It's like it's not all the way. And another really, really strong performance I remember from Barcelona was watching the senior ladies on the 1,000 meter, where Mareike Thum, the impressive German skater, super strong, re-won her title on the 1,000 meter from last year, and that's a hard title to keep on winning. It's a hard race to predict, and it's just so hard to control. But she was so strong in that race as well. Went off the front. There was a little bit of a struggle with some of the skaters behind her, but she just went fast enough for none of them to be able to pass.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was struggling on the track, of course, because it was, there were some issues with the track, we can say. Everyone had a lot of trouble. Everyone was racing on storm surge at some point because it was so slippery, so like a rain wheel. But other impressive performances was like Daniel Gregg. Like, you probably know him.
100 meters,
Yeah, he won the 100 meter, and he lives also here in the Netherlands. It must be the first title for Australia in a long time, since Michael Byrne. He was also impressive when he skated and won some titles.
And that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. So yeah, good for Australia. They're coming back also with Harry Stockdale is coming. He's also super
put
strong long distance skater.
Top 10 results this year as well.
Yeah, he was right behind you, I think, in the points.
Behind. Definitely behind. Definitely
yeah,
behind.
8th place and you were 7th, I think.
Important detail.
Yeah, very important. Yeah, and what else did we see? We saw the Taiwanese guy in the
points,
the points on the
breakaway.
road. Nobody
Yeah.
expected that one, I guess.
He was out of sight actually because I was skating together with Ruud Dijkstra, and we made it to the final. And in the final, we were working our way up, and then when we reached the front of the peloton, I was like, I can go, Ruud. I can go. And then I went on the breakaway, and then I saw just around the corner, I saw 2 guys going, and I was like, I didn't see them. Shit. And it was, of course, a big mistake.
Yeah.
But then that was the reason why we could go to the front and go for the breakaway. But yeah, he was strong. I think he led for some laps, and it was a big surprise. I think in Berlin, someone told me, I think it was Mike Paes who told me, he was also world champion during junior years.
Probably.
I think maybe it was the guy who won the marathon in front of Mike Pies in San Benedetto at junior.
The marathon, yeah.
Then he's the same age like me and Mike from '94, but he's super strong, and he was in the breakaway together with Timothy Lepino, so one of the strongest skaters you can be in the breakaway with, and still he pulled out the win from that one. That was impressive.
Yeah, pretty good. And you look at the Colombians, you look at Bad, and you look at De Janeiro and all those, but the level overall in the World Championships is really high. You have people from Asia, from South America, from Europe, and now Australia, and a lot of different continents.
That's a sign how international the sport is. If a guy from Chinese Taipei wins a race, so you don't see that in many other sports. And in inline, if you only look at the final, of course you see many different countries, but if you have a look, is it a real contender for the win? You can say, oh yeah. And you can keep on going.
Yeah, you have people from South America, North America, even sometimes Europe, Asia.
Yeah.
And we had an Australian win again, so Oceania, I guess, as well. So many.
But
continents.
we can't say that. Yeah, Colombia is not the best country, because they will still be the best country in overall at the World Championships. They've been the best country for many years now. We saw also on the ladies' sides Johanna Viveras was really strong, and in general, in junior they win maybe half of the gold medals, I guess.
Maybe even more.
Yeah, maybe
with
more
the men,
than half.
with the senior men, they won with Alex Cuchavanda as well. Again this year. And he's still young, so for many more years to come. And the thing is also with the medal count is they win everything in the junior categories almost. Sprint, long,
that's impressive.
Boys, girls. It's always impressive.
Yeah, but talking about age, for example, you mentioned Daniel Nero. He was there with Worlds, being first year senior, already contender for the medals. Then now you think, he has the chances, and still don't have the world title. But if you look at the age of Daniel, you know the age probably.
Well, Philip knows the age.
He's 1 year older than me. I had to race in juniors. I had to race
23, 24,
So he's 23, 24 exactly.
Yeah, it will come, that world title. I'm very sure of that. And that's probably the next in line after, let's say, when Pachi Puela, Peter Michael, Bart Swings, when they are done or something, you have a new generation of really strong Frenchmen with guys like Martin Ferrer. You have Italians like Nero, Kusepamande. For sure you have a new generation ready, and the level is high. That's only good for the sport. Those two we just mentioned earlier, Peter Michael and Pachi Puela, we both of them has been kind of up and down a little bit this season. In the spring, not as visible as they normally were, and I know also Pachi Puela struggling a lot with some injuries, and Peter Michael staying here in Holland a lot of the season, racing marathons as well. But let's move on now to the European Championship then, because it was in Pamplona, Spain, and you were there, Casper?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you think so? Philip and me, we weren't there, so it's really good we have you with us today. on the podcast, because you probably have better insights than us. But to do the same kind of recap like we did earlier, we saw